Coconut is a fruit that many people recognize immediately. It grows on tall palm trees in tropical regions and has been used by humans for centuries as both food and drink. The thick brown shell protects the inside of the fruit, while beneath it lies the white coconut flesh and the clear liquid known as coconut water. When a coconut is opened, the inside looks simple and clean. The white flesh appears dense, slightly fibrous, and smooth when cut with a knife. It has a mild, sweet taste and a rich texture, which is why coconut is widely used in desserts, drinks, baked goods, and many traditional dishes around the world. At normal scale, the coconut flesh looks almost uniform. To the naked eye, it seems like a solid white layer with only faint fibers visible across its surface. When we eat coconut, we usually notice its flavor and texture, but we rarely think about the microscopic structure that forms this fruit. Like many plant tissues, coconut flesh is built from countless tiny cells and natural structures that cannot be seen without magnification. Inside it are plant fibers and oil droplets that give coconut its characteristic texture. To observe these details more closely, a small piece of coconut is placed onto a microscope slide. Now the coconut is under the microscope, and we can take a closer look at what this fruit is really made of. At 80 times magnification, the coconut no longer appears as a smooth white surface. Instead, the field of view reveals a dense and irregular structure made of plant fibers and fragmented material. Thin, translucent strands stretch across the image, forming a loose network that gives the coconut its fibrous texture. Between these fibers, numerous small circular shapes become visible. Many of them appear as tiny droplets scattered throughout the sample. These are likely small pockets of natural coconut oil that exist within the plant tissue. Dark fragments and irregular particles are also visible across the slide. Some are clustered together while others remain isolated in the surrounding space. Even at this relatively low magnification, it becomes clear that coconut flesh is far from uniform. What looked like a solid white layer is actually a complex arrangement of fibers, oil droplets, and plant material. At 200 times magnification, the internal structure becomes clearer and more detailed. The fibrous network now appears more pronounced, with overlapping strands forming layered patterns across the sample. Some fibers appear thin and thread-like, while others are thicker and slightly flattened. They intersect and weave together, creating the structure that gives coconut its firm yet slightly flexible texture. Small spherical droplets remain scattered throughout the field. These droplets are more visible now, appearing as tiny circles with faint outlines. They likely represent microscopic oil droplets contained within the coconut tissue. Fragments of plant cells begin to appear as irregular shapes among the fibers. The sample starts to resemble a natural biological fabric rather than a simple piece of food. At 800 times magnification, the microscopic landscape becomes far more intricate. Individual fibers now show finer internal structure, with delicate lines and layers visible along their length. The surrounding space is filled with numerous tiny circular droplets and particles. Some droplets appear perfectly round, while others have slightly distorted shapes where they interact with surrounding structures. Small clusters of dense material appear between the fibers, possibly fragments of broken plant cells. These clusters create darker regions that contrast against the lighter, translucent fibers. At this scale, coconut looks less like food and more like a natural microscopic network built from fibers and oils. At 2,000 times magnification, the structure becomes even more complex and detailed. The fibrous tissue now dominates the field of view, revealing countless thin strands intertwined in an intricate pattern. These fibers form a dense biological scaffold that once supported the coconut flesh. Between them, many tiny droplets and particles remain suspended throughout the sample. Some droplets reflect light along their edges, creating bright circular outlines. Others appear darker and more irregular, blending into the surrounding structures. The once smooth white coconut interior now appears as a microscopic landscape made of fibers, oil droplets, and fragments of plant cells. Looking this closely completely changes the way we see a familiar food. And what seems simple at normal scale reveals a complex natural architecture when magnified thousands of times. If this hidden structure surprised you, leave a comment with what you would like to see next under the microscope, and subscribe to the channel to keep exploring the unseen world inside everyday objects.